So I did this every week, guys. Every week I forget to pull away the phone. I'm thinking the thing's gonna pull it. Sorry, hey, this is the Random Things podcast, and we're at episode 8. And clearly, by episode 8, I still haven't figured out how to fucking run the ship. I was great for like the first 6 episodes, and then 7 and 8, I just fucked it up. So we are back. We're here to talk about some fun topics. I got my buddy Dan Baggs and John Ackerman, who have been on just about every episode. And today, below me, my buddy Dave Hampton, coming all the way from Florida. What's up, Dave?
Arms are tired. I flew all the way there.
Yeah. My arms are so tired. Oh man.
Well, let me bring this knee up real quick. Oh, damn.
Zing.
That's perfect.
Hot out the gate.
Dave, we had these guys on for the like year-end wrap-up stuff. How was your Christmas with the family?
I survived.
Survived Christmas.
No, it was good. No, we did fine. Actually, one of the better ones. We had more dogs than kids here, which actually usually makes for a better scene at this house because then the dogs distract the kids, and the adults get to have a good time.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I'm glad you're having fun down there. You guys are settled in down there nicely in Florida now, so the kids make friends and stuff. You got tons of kids coming over and shit.
I throw a rock and I hit 3 in the head, so I mean, there's tons of kids here.
Now, are you getting in trouble with Florida law for throwing rocks at kids' heads?
No, I stood my ground.
Okay.
There you go. Nice.
All right, so like I said, Dave, we kind of do it off the top here to kind of just break the ice. It's a funny conversation starter, and then we'll run into the predetermined topics for today. Today's off the top is the issues with the movie The Lake House. Now, if you don't know what the movie The Lake House is, it's a Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock movie where there is a time-traveling mailbox linking one person staying at the lake house in 2006 to someone staying in 2004. It's a stupid rom-com. It's a waste of the time travel device. What would you guys do if you had access to the time traveling mailbox and you were in the past able to get messages to the future? I'm going to start with Dave first.
I'd tell everyone to sell stock in face masks. You don't want to buy that. Sell high.
All right. John, what about you?
Invest in Amazon, invest in Bitcoin, and I want to put my hand through to see if my hand comes out 2 years later. Like, that's what I want to know. I want to know if I stick something in there, if I go and I flip it off, like, do I see it 2 years later and it's just a decomposed hand?
Well, that's the initial test, because this movie is a rom-com. So she's in love with him in the past or whatever. So does Keanu Reeves, after he realizes he can't stick his hand through, then stick his dick in and see if he can get a blowjob 2 years in the future via the mailbox?
See, now my head's going with, what if he starts with his dick and it's like stuck 2 years in the future so he never sees it again?
Oh, I know.
Oh, shit, that's a good point. That's a good point.
He's got to quickly write a note like, put it on ice.
I'll be there in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's
that's
just
why you test. You can't start with the dick, Dave. That's terrible. You got to be like, hey, did you get that stick that I just sent through?
Listen, people have put their dick in weirder things first. That's all I know.
That is a fact.
I mean, you don't start with the stick. You definitely go with the hot dog.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna try something real quick. Let me know if you get this. Hot dog. Couple of munchkins.
Yeah. He's smooth as Barry's there, right, when he's done.
That's incredible. Dan, what would you do? What would you do with the time traveling mailbox?
So to clarify, I'm in 2004.
Yes, you're the one in the past who has
and
the ability
I can send
to
messages
your
for 2006.
Yes.
Nothing. I mean, what the fuck's the point?
I
can't tell that person to do anything. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. If I was in 2006, that'd be a different story.
No, but
dude. But being in 2004, I would just put random shit in the mailbox and be like, dude, you
get that flaming bag of
lit, thing of lit firecrackers and be like, this is gonna be fucking awesome.
I mean, we're coming on to something here because you can just put murder weapons in there. Full
Oh
on.
yeah,
I killed
killed
somebody. Take his
Yeah.
life.
you killed somebody in 2006. You send it back
Yeah.
to 2004. You'd be like, hey, get rid of this in the ocean.
Yeah. Can you bury this for me, please?
Yeah, because then when they get it, it's like, listen, it matches the murder weapon, but it's too fucking old. It can't
Yeah.
be the murder weapon.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't make sense. The blood is 10 years old. It's like, how
See?
could he have done it? No, but the Dan,
This is
you wouldn't even see. My first thought is I would be like, oh my god, you live in the and in this movie, Keanu Reeves is like a famous architect, and she's like a well-renowned doctor. So they both have money, so that's not the concern. But if it were me, I'd be like, what are the lottery numbers for this week? Like historically, look that shit up and send it back to me.
Can anybody here name a famous architect?
Yes,
Yeah.
George Costanza.
Yeah, go fuck
So
yourself.
that is
Yeah,
Art
exactly.
Vandelay,
Art Van
but
Dyke.
Frank Lloyd Wright is a famous architect.
is he the
And,
guy?
Fair enough.
and I am Pei.
What's
Man,
the, tell me,
all I
did
can
you just
think
pull
of-
that name from Pineapple Express, Dan?
What?
Did you just pull that name from Pineapple Express?
Oh, the first one?
Yes,
Well, no, I knew Frank Lloyd Wright was an architect, but
because
he's,
in Pineapple Express,
yeah.
James Franco does that thing. He doesn't even
only
name. I don't
second to Frank Lloyd Wright.
even, he names an architect. He goes, my favorite architect. He designed the Brooklyn Bridge or whatever it is. I don't
Yep.
know, but oh man,
Yeah, that's impressive. I couldn't remember that.
no, I don't even
No.
think that's the guy, but it's just I assumed that's what he was pulling from.
I just like that your use of the mailbox boils down to the plot of the Back to the Future too.
Yes, that's all it is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure this question will be asked in a future episode for Off the Top. It's like, what would you do if you got superpowers? Like, how long before you go evil, really? And,
15 seconds.
yeah, I would, as much as I would like to think I'd be a hero, I would absolutely be putting myself first.
Well,
It would depend on what superpower.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
$1 million question.
If
Are
I
you
could
invisible?
I teleport into
invisible?
a fucking vault, and take all that shit, just fucking teleport out with it.
I'm just saying, no man should be the invisible man. Like
Yeah.
it will never end well.
Never.
It took Kevin Bacon what, like 20 minutes in a movie to
Go evil.
be a villain.
Yeah.
He was like, "Look at my flopping dick, everybody. I'm gonna stay in this room for a good 20 minutes, and then you know what? I got cabin fever. I'm gonna drive around and
Talk
and
about
fuck with kids."
Talk about interesting choice in that movie with Kevin Bacon, Hollow Man, PG-13. It was PG-13, wasn't it?
I believe so.
I think it's an R.
Is it
There's,
R?
it an
there's
R?
Okay.
titties. There's titties in that.
All right, well, Hollow
There is
Man,
titties in that.
of all the movies, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna make sure we get a CGI like skinless dick flopping around when he starts going invisible.
Yeah, it's rated R.
Yeah, it is.
Of all the choices to stick in a movie, it's incredible.
They're like, we have to make this real. Well, you know, they were like, with the CGI, they're like, you know, it looks okay. We spent way too much time on the dick, and they're like, we paid for it. We're gonna put the dick in.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have to have him like fall out a window or something so that we can cut away from. We don't have the budget anymore. We spent way too much time on the dick.
See, where'd you get the model for this dick? Well, I went to go pick up my mail, and it was just.
Yeah, it was in the mailbox.
The mailbox. Oh, whatever.
Sandra Bullock sent it to me from the future. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, that's a good off the top. All right, that was fun. So we'll jump into our two main topics here. The first one we'll do is our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2024. The way I set this up was I had everybody pick at least 5 movies or close if they could 5 movies that they were very excited about this year. They could throw some honorable mentions in there, and you can throw in some movies you aren't excited about that are coming out as well. We'll start with you, John.
All right. I got, for the movies that I want to see, I got Deadpool 3. I think it's going to be great. Beetlejuice 2. I got the Quinsac Satirac Dune Part 2. Can't wait to see that. And I got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire because, I mean, let's face it, that shit looked awesome.
Yeah,
right?
it did.
And Civil War, because I can't wait to see that. Honorable mentions, Spaceman with Adam Sandler. Looks interesting, right?
I don't even know what that is.
Rebel Moon Part 2, because I want to see it. It's as bad as the fucking first one. As bad as the first one, I'm going to be stoked to be like, this is my new favorite movie.
I feel like you stole my list entry.
I mean, Craven, Godzilla, Kong, Furiosa, Terrifier 3, a Christmas movie, right? Can't wait.
That's a good list.
I mean,
I have some crossovers with you, especially in the top 5. A lot, actually.
So do I.
Yeah.
My order for mine is, and I'll do my honorable mentions after. My number 5 for me is Inside Out 2. I don't know why I'm wicked excited for Inside Out 2. Number 4 is Beverly Hills Cop 4, which I can't wait
I forgot about that.
3 is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which I'm also very excited about. 2, Deadpool 3, and 1, Beetlejuice 2. So
hell yeah.
All sequels. And most of them are to 80s properties.
It's a shame.
Sequels. I know, it really is all sequels. And then my my honorable mentions quickly. 5, Godzilla and Kong, New Empire. I only want to see that because my son loves that. I might be able to take him. Joker 2, that is coming out. That should be pretty good. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really want to see this Nosferatu movie with fucking Robert Eggers, the guy that did The Northman's directing it. It's got fucking a huge fucking cast. It looks awesome. It sounds awesome. And then
Yes.
Dune 2 is my number 1 honorable mention. So, but Dave, what do you got? Because I know your list was kind of.
My list is terrible. So we're going to start with, I'm very poorly educated on this topic this year because I think the last 2-3 years I've just been kind of soured on remakes and sequels. And so we're going to go with my dishonorable mention of the year, which is going to be Roadhouse. Like, why remake a masterpiece? That movie is perfect start to finish. Like, the fact that they want to remake it, there's no way it's going to be good. And Jake Gyllenhaal is going to look really punchable, I guess, in that movie. So there's that.
I'm very angry. I want the rest of your list, but I'm very angry that they're remaking Roadhouse. Like,
why?
Patrick Swayze is rolling over in his grave somewhere.
It reminds me of your zombie Patrick Swayze costume.
We talked about this. He's witness. He's witness to it. We talked about it a couple episodes ago.
We sang "Time of Your Life" to each other while you were zombie Patrick Swayze. That's the thing that happened.
That's awesome.
It was karaoke. Yep. But
thanks, Charlie.
Most people said that I look like Little Richard.
Yes. Yeah. There was a lot of black on the face and possible cancellation at this point.
It was gray face. It was gray face. He was a zombie.
I know it was. But these millennials don't have context for that.
That's true.
But I have 2 movies that I'm excited for. One is Deadpool 3. I think that it's a sequel, but I think both Deadpools have been fun, so I know it's going to at least be fun. And then it's the crossover with the MCU, so we're going to see how they mess that up because that seems to be the trend right now. But it's going to be a fun train wreck. I do feel like that's going to have that going for it.
I think it's going to be fantastic. I think Deadpool 3, we'll get to your last one, but I think Deadpool 3 is going to be fantastic because I think generally it's going to do a whole lot of like, fuck you to the Fox universe and probably a lot. I would honestly, if it ends with Deadpool literally just being like, I'm in the MCU now.
I would love that. I feel like there's going to be like a turd in a bag lit on fire and like Green Lantern's porch. So there'll be some DCU shade in there as well because and anytime he can diss Green Lantern, he loves to do that. So that'd be fun to see as well. And then what is it? Oh, as much as I've been trashing sequels and remakes, I've yet to see a Bad Boys movie. So Bad Boys 4 made the list just out of the fact that like each one of those has been a lot of fun, and I really want Chris Rock to make like a cameo in it. I think that'd be great.
Hell yeah.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. And the final scene is nice old.
That'd be incredible. If he gets a slap Will Smith on camera,
Yes,
like,
yes.
it'd be fantastic.
So because of that potential, that's on my list. Other than that, I had Rebel Moon Part 2 on there because Part 1 was like watching paint dry, except duller.
Yep.
I don't understand how that was so bad. Like, it was everything I hated about it. Was like Dune and Star Wars had a baby that was aborted. It was awful.
was bad.
It's a typical Zack Snyder movie, though. Beautiful cinematography, characters that are dull as shit, and then a plot that everyone forgets about 10 minutes into it. It's just terrible. Every one of his movies is the same. He's terrible.
He
Could
is.
do a whole rant on that. And then what was
We
it?
did that last week, Dave.
You
missed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you missed. I tried to get you on the Rebel. I know how much you hate Zack Snyder, so I was like,
He's the
oh,
worst.
You know,
I gotta get
it's a
Dave.
perfect place for a plug, Dave. You should go back and watch it and just sit there and nod the whole time.
Yes.
I definitely will.
I agree.
I do have another. So my list is like a lot of me ranting. Venom 3 is on my list because I remember when you and I did a podcast way back when for Venom 1 with Nelson. That was a good time.
Yes.
Yeah, the movie was terrible, but terrible in all the ways that make it incredibly fun. So like Venom 1 is just an amazing train wreck of a movie. And so Venom 2 took itself too seriously. So I'm hoping 3 gets more to the train wreck side again.
Right.
So like that's what's where I'm excited about that. And then and with so little to see in the theaters this year, I might as well go see Aquaman because
Terrible.
DC is. I know it's going to be bad, but it's going to be better than most movies that are coming out. So
Supposedly, and I haven't seen it, but supposedly the end of that movie, literally, they have a post-credit scene where it's literally just Patrick Wilson's Orm sitting at a bar eating a burger for the first time and being like, holy shit. Like that's literally the last scene in the DCEU is Orm eating a cheeseburger on land for the first time and being like, oh my fucking god.
I thought you were going to tell me it was James Gunn taking a shit on the Snyder Cut, just like full on.
Awesome.
Just full on. There's
He's gotta
Snyder
try
Cut.
he's hoping he can bring those people into the new DCU, despite how fucking hostile they are. But he's trying. That's good. We'll talk about some of the crossovers we've had, but Dan, what's your list?
It's a lot of repeats. Deadpool 3 is on there. Beetlejuice 2 is on there. Furiosa is on there. Just because, I mean, Fury Road was
So
amazing. So good.
I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I say this at work all the time, and a couple of my coworkers, not John, will give me shit. They're like, she's got big bug eyes. I'm like, yeah, but she's hot as fuck. I don't care about her big bug eyes.
But Civil War is also on there. I haven't really watched the full trailer of it yet, but it looks interesting, and I'm gonna watch it. I probably won't see it in theaters because I really don't go to the theaters that much anymore. But it seems like it looks like it wants to be a kind of a new idea where with so many sequels and remakes and stuff coming around where you're like it's nice to see something new.
Right.
Also I got The Fall Guy, which is
Yes.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, where he's the stunt man, right?
Yeah.
That
looks
great.
interesting. And then If with Ryan Reynolds, and I mean look at the rest of that movie and you're like, how could this be bad? Or it will be really, really bad.
Right.
But that's about imaginary friends and shit.
Civil War looks really good. It's the but it also looks like one of those really like it's too close to home. This could happen in real life.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is that it feels like it's a hop, skip, and a jumping away.
Yeah,
So.
that shit fucks me up. Like I just watched that Netflix Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind. Yeah, I was just going to say that.
And I was like, oh man, this fucking. I really liked it. I didn't care for the end that much, but I really liked it. But I was like, this is fucking nuts. Like this could really happen.
Well, it felt like a short story where somebody got to their word limit and just wrote the end. Like, I was really into the movie. It's getting exciting, and they're like, word count, the end.
One more scene. I need get the whole family into that fucking bunker.
Yeah.
Don't just have the girl fucking watch Friends.
Yeah.
Make it so it's like she sees the end and she's like, all right, fine. I'll go get them. Let's go.
Or if they all make it, in there and they're like, we gotta hunker down, this place is fucked. The fucking bombs are going off and shit. And then she happens to walk over with the whole group there, go over to the DVD, find the friends thing, and like be like, bloop. Like, I don't know. I just feel like everybody was so scattered trying to get back to wherever the original house. I was like, I don't know. It's a weird place to end this movie, but
I would have been cool with 2 more scenes. You get that, and then you get like the precursor to Dawn of the Dead, where like the brother starts biting everybody because like that just
got no
ended too
teeth.
fast for me. Yeah.
John, I'm sorry. You should watch this, John.
I'm planning on watching the movie. It doesn't make a difference if you guys talk about it. It's fine.
Good. Well, that's
Right. I'm not one of those guys.
None of that stuff we just said happens.
Yes. It's all aliens the whole time.
It's all aliens.
All right, sorry, Dan. Do you have any more that you were going to add?
No, that was it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we kind of touched on Deadpool 3 a little bit. Is there anybody who's going to be in Deadpool 3, or even suspected cameos you guys are excited to see?
Huge Ackman.
Yeah, well,
that's I'm right here.
Oh, right.
Huge Ackerman. I was excited because I heard a rumor that Ben Affleck was going to show up as Daredevil potentially in it, and like I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god!
I heard that it's going to be just absolute mayhem, pulling from every fucking multiverse. You're going to have all 3 Spider-Mans. You're going to have fucking anybody and everybody. You'll have
all 3 Spider-Men.
yeah, fucking I'm telling you,
Jessica Alba as fucking Sue Storm. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be. You'll have every single Fantastic Four. That's
great.
That's what I feel.
Gross.
That's what
I don't want to hear that.
Down is that they're just gonna pull like even every single dead Ben Foster as Angel from fucking X-Men.
Oh, he's the worst.
Awful.
Yeah, they're gonna have all the shitty fucking people, and he's just gonna be like, "Listen, let's fucking go."
Are they gonna bring back Vinnie Jones as Juggernaut?
I was just thinking that, like,
Yeah.
because they already had a good Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. But it'd be great if that one showed up and Deadpool was like, ew.
Yeah. so basically, this is going to become Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Then is that what this is?
Which would be fantastic.
I'm okay with this. Yeah.
I know that for sure. One of the set photos that they leaked, it shows Wolverine and Deadpool fighting in a desert. Within the background, there is the ruins made out of like stone of the old 20th Century Fox logo. It's a prop in the background. It's massive.
That's awesome.
And I was like, that's fucking hilarious to actually use that as the set, But
that's awesome.
I know Elektra. I think I heard Jennifer Garner definitely signed in, so she's going to be in it. So
it was in one of the teasers I was reading this morning, like after you told me about this. So that's what I've heard too.
So it'd be cool to see her again. And Colin Farrell, dude, you get Colin Farrell as Bullseye, like even if he just shows up just to kill Jennifer Garner, like she's dead, and then it's like, who the fuck was that? I don't know.
That'd be top tier.
I just hope they give him that branding on his forehead that had nothing to do with anything Bullseye, but for some reason they thought that's a good way to do a comic book costume.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible.
Draw a circle on his head. Draw a circle.
It's so bad.
Why? Has Bullseye ever had a circle on his head? No. What does that have to do with anything?
This is way better looking than a goofy black costume. No. No.
I do. Let me tell you something. Going back to the original Daredevil, as much as I dislike that movie, when he fucking kills the old lady on the plane just because she's annoying
with the peanut,
sleeping next to him, she's snoring, so he kills her with a fucking peanut. That's great.
I agree.
More of that. But and then what else? What else was our crossover? Beetlejuice 2 was on a couple of our lists. Michael Keaton coming back to do Beetlejuice again.
Top tier.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
And what's her face? I read today that what's her face from Wednesday. Why can't I remember that?
Ortega?
Jennifer Ortega.
She's gonna be playing Lydia's daughter from the original Beetlejuice. So she's gonna, which is like, come on, is that not like typecasting perfectly?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm very excited for that. I wonder if they'll get Alec Baldwin back. Oh,
Alright.
what about what's her face?
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. Is she still kick? I haven't seen her in anything in fucking 20 years.
That's kind of what Hollywood does with actresses of a certain age. Like, unfortunately, sorry, we know you're alive.
You gotta go.
Yeah, women don't age past 40.
I'm sure she's fun. I haven't seen a recent image of her. I gotta look it up now, actually.
I'm sure she looks great, but it's just like Hollywood's got this weird thing. Unless you're Susan Sarandon after age 40, we're just gonna put you on mothballs.
Gina Davis now. Hold on.
All right. That's gonna be a picture of
Nothing-
Susan Sarandon.
Nothing on IMDb, but it does say Catherine O'Hara is coming back as Delia Dietz, and Willem Dafoe is somebody,
He's Beetlejuice's dad.
and Monica Bellucci is Beetlejuice's wife.
This is Gina Davis now, by the way. So like,
Yeah, she looks fine.
yeah, she looks fine. She does. She didn't get the what is it, Meg Ryan treatment, where she did so much fucking plastic surgery that her face fell off. So
Other than nostalgia, convince me why I want to see this movie though, because like this is one of the movies where I'm like, I feel like it's gonna tread on my childhood in all the ways I hate.
So, Tim Burton in the 80s, obviously he was limited to like what he could do with his movies. I feel like going back to the world of Beetlejuice, where he could go back into the underworld and stuff. I feel like that would look really cool now. So I'm simply just as a massive fan of Beetlejuice, wanting to see if this world evolves at all, like what the sandworms look like now, what the fucking and Michael Keaton's so funny as Beetlejuice. I want to see his take on modern people. You know, I want to see how he reacts to like, you know, a fucking millennial Lydia Dietz. You know,
I'm wondering if the whorehouse in the model city is still there.
Feeling kind of anxious.
So great. And I love Gina Davis. That's one of her best lines. She's like, Adam, why did you build that? He's like,
I didn't
build that.
The whorehouse was my idea. You
The
let
fucking
Beetlejuice
smoke-
out and you
the
did not put
smoke-
him back.
The smoke coming out of the throat.
Yeah, it's gross.
I bet you Willem Dafoe is he's probably the new like recently deceased fucking like coordinator, because that lady's definitely dead.
Oh yeah, she's definitely dead. The one that they keep calling her Coach. Coach. He survived.
Juno, your caseworker.
I was fully expecting you to tell me he was going to be working at the whorehouse.
He has
Dude,
just the smallest part. He's the bouncer at the whorehouse in the model.
Honestly,
No,
dude,
not Willem Dafoe. He'd be in the whorehouse horrid.
Willem Dafoe. What do they say? What did they say? And how did this get made, Dave? When we saw it live, it was like, he's like confusingly large penis on Willem Dafoe.
He's just one of those guys you can see just being like, oh, that seems like a fun role. Let's do that.
He's just creeping in the background. I could see him being a Beetlejuice type villain who's so bad that they need to get Beetlejuice to try and get rid of him.
A different Beetlejuice.
Yeah, just saying.
I hate that idea already.
Yeah, the Weedle juice, great.
The
I just think
Wario of the Beetlejuice realm.
He's
Yeah.
too. He can be too freaky looking at a drop to not be somebody that's dead. You know, like he can't just be like the guy that owns the house. You know, that wouldn't work.
He's just the barista at Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, what do you want for coffee?
They
Yeah.
call those baristas?
I don't know. Fancy Florida word, I guess.
No. Dunkin' Donuts, they don't call them baristas. So. Yeah, there's that. And then my son Sam loves the original Ghostbusters. We watch it all the fucking time. All the time.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
so I haven't shown him.
1984 one?
Yes, and I haven't shown him Ghostbusters Afterlife, because actually that's got a couple scary parts in it that I was like, I don't know if you can handle how scary this is, but then the new one came out and I was watching that. I'm like, well, you definitely can't see this one with me. It looks wicked fucking scary. People are getting frozen. People are getting frozen by fear and this fucking like ice fucking demons and shit. Like, no.
How old is your son again?
He's 5, or he's gonna be 5.
he's perfectly old enough to see this stuff at this point.
No,
Dude, we were watching shit like this when we were 5.
I
know,
was. But
I
Duffy was
just
because he had siblings that were like 10 years older than him, and they were like, "Hey,
Watch
check out
this."
this movie. It's called The Exorcist. It's not that scary."
you're in the golden era. I just like hit him with the Goonies next, and things like that.
So I tried to get my kids to watch The Goonies a year or two ago, and Hallie was kind of interested. Sam wasn't interested at all yet, but Hallie was kind of interested. And then we got to the scene with the fucking dead body in the freezer falling on Chunk, and I was like, and she freaked out, and I was like, oh man, how did I forget about the fucking dead body in the freezer?
That's great.
And she freaked out, and Sarah's like, "What the fuck are you watching?" And I'm like, "It's just Goonies. It's just Goonies." I'm like, you barely see him. He's got a little dot on his head from getting the bullet hole. Like, there's no blood. Like,
It's really cold.
yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah, no. And then, honestly, it's probably good that she fell off at that point because Sloth is pretty fucking freaky looking, and I don't really want to walk down that like. I don't want my kid to be like, what's wrong with Sloth? And I'm going to be like, well, he's fucking retarded.
So wow, that would have been.
They
I was like,
explain it. She dropped him on his head, maybe once or maybe twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what? I don't want my kids, and I don't know if my daughter's ever come in school or anything. I don't know if she's come across any special needs children or anything. I don't want her first thought of a special needs person is like Sloth from the fucking Goonies, okay?
Right.
You don't want her walking up and be like, "There you go."
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
exactly.
Jesus.
It's fucking like nightmare fuel for and she's gonna be like, "Oh, we're having a special student come into class today," and my daughter's like, "It's fucking Sloth!" Like
What are you teaching your kids?
I'm not teaching them that. I'm just afraid that's gonna be the leap she makes.
Oh,
You
jeez.
can't be like, there are different people. They all comes in different shapes, colors, and
we
faces.
always tell her that shit. But Sloth is an extreme of one side of that. So
Man,
Just
you're
have,
gonna give
have her, dude. Just have her watch The Elephant Man.
yeah, we're gonna sit down and watch Mask, not the Jim Carrey one, the one where the kid's face is fucked up.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm beautiful on the inside.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Well,
You ever see that on Family Guy when they do Mask and like he gets the blind girl because that's the movie.
She's like, "Oh, what's wrong with your face?"
yeah.
horribly disfigured. And this fucking girl, this blind girl's feeling his face. She goes, "What is this? What is this?" And she's like, "Ah." And he's like, "I'm beautiful on the inside." She goes, "Jesus, I'm blind, but there's a limit." So good. Oh man. Oh Jesus. Let's see. Dune 2. I know you brought up Dune 2. How you doing, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Dune.
the subtitle of Dune 2?
Dune, where's my car?
The sleeper has awoken.
I'm excited for Dune 2. I liked the first Dune. It was long and boring, but it was long and boring in a good way, not like Rebel Moon.
Jeez, you need to do a second episode on Rebel Moon.
You know what?
Yeah, we
Actually, this just made me remember it. You know what's weird about Rebel Moon that we didn't bring up in the last video? When the wormholes open in space, does it not look like a fucking space vagina?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tearing into space.
100%.
I saw that. I was like, what is that? That's a weird fucking space ripple.
It's a tear in the immaterium of reality.
Which is
Listen.
polar opposite of cool because Dune, when they show their fucking funnel thing where you see the planets in the background from the other side of space, that looked fucking awesome. And then Zack Snyder's like, I'm going to make mine look like a vagina.
No, the guy that got to do the CGI penis in Hollow Man was the one that worked on the CGI for the space portals.
I just
Same
figured
guy.
Zack Snyder
He
was
just
thinking,
works in genitalia only.
see, and here's me thinking Zack Snyder's like, all my Snyderverse fans, it's the only vagina they'll ever see, so I might as well just put it somewhere.
Probably true. I'm excited for Dune 2. I never read Dune. I did watch the original movie, not David Cronenberg. What's the guy's fucking name that did the original? Is it David Cronenberg? No, it's fucking. It
I'm so
matter.
terrible with names.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the original from the 80s was so bad. I mean, It just was. It's a bad movie. It's better than Rebel Moon.
I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, right? But I loved it for when I watched it. I thought it was fantastic, especially when they start getting the sonic weapons and stuff like that. So
I'm excited for it. When that second trailer that they drop, when you see the fucking riding the goddamn sandworms into fucking battle, and the troops are just standing there like, oh fuck, what do we do? Like, that's great.
I agree. I can't wait.
I told these guys at work, I told them that what I would do, because we asked each other, what would you do in that scenario with those sandworms coming at you like that? Because like you can't run, you're gonna get caught. You can't, maybe if you go to the sides, maybe depending on what part of the thing you're at.
They are so fucking big though, Kevin.
I know. I said I would run right for them and try to jump between them and like swim in the sand. And he's like, you'd be buried in sand and crushed. You'd be fucking dead too.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, but on my own terms.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
At least I'm not burn shit.
when we were talking about this, I was like, remember the harvester in the first one, and that thing goes ahead and just is so small in comparison to that worm that goes and swallows it. You know, it just comes up underneath, and it's just like it's so small. Like you're not running across the beach sand that is that planet and getting anywhere fast.
I think I know how he's gonna
Running on dry sand is exhausting.
I think
Make
I know
it
how
5 feet, you're done.
Yeah.
I know how the movie's gonna end though. I know that he's gonna show up with a bunch of a bunch of chocolate bars for everybody in his fucking purple hat and be like, this is how I've turned the spice into Wonka bars.
Dude, I can't wait to see Christopher Walken as the Emperor.
So again, you have read Dune. What is the hierarchy there? Is he a bad guy?
He's top banana. He put the House Atreides on that planet to fail.
Okay.
Right? Because Paul Atreides' father there,
Was
Oscar Isaacs,
too popular.
yeah, too popular
Yeah.
among people,
Yeah.
right? And he had to be eliminated.
He JFK'd him. He JFK'd him.
More or less, yeah. That's accurate. Yeah. So he said he's got to go, and they put him on there to fail, and they all knew it, and they still accepted the position as a high honor.
Because you have to. You can't say
You
no
have
to the Emperor. They would have attacked his planet. The nice planet.
Yeah, the one that looked nice.
All right. So he's a total dick then. Because I assumed when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, well, is he a bad guy or is he just kind of in the middle of this? Because I didn't know who that was. And
I mean, all you really have to look at the fact is that he is lending his troops the Harkonnen house to go ahead and defend everything that's there. He doesn't give two shits about the people that are on that planet at all. Yeah.
Because I assumed that Stellar Skateboard was Stellan Skarsgård was the again, that's another callback to how did this get made, but I assumed he was like the bad guy, but you're telling me he's basically an underling.
More or less, yeah. That's exactly how it is. He's making money, like he's powerful. It's just that he's not emperor powerful rather.
All right.
I love the idea of Christopher Walken as an emperor, but part of me is going, isn't Christopher Walken in every movie?
Yeah.
It's ever been?
Accurate. Yeah.
You know what he wasn't Christopher Walken in? Have you seen Silo? Not Silo. What's the Apple TV show? Fuck.
That one that you watched, or
Severance.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's no Christopher Walken in that.
Yeah, he's just crazy Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
It's good.
He's extra crazy.
He's so nice and quiet though, and that's like I expect him to be. I always expect him to be like, "Does your mother sew that?" Like that's terrible Christopher Walken impersonation.
I don't know. Like I go back to it's the Omen he's in, right? So I believe he's in the Omen, right?
Yes, Gabriel.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's not Christopher Walken-ish in that one.
Yeah, but that was early.
Yeah, well, it still counts.
He just made the transition from ballroom dancer to actor at that point.
Yeah.
He was still trying to find his niche, and then he was like, "I could be you.
I'm walking.
Oh, jeez.
I could be my own thing."
Oh man, he was he was even Christopher Walken as the headless horseman.
He was.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think
bad.
he doesn't say a fucking word. He just goes,
So bad.
and that's it. But he's like,
He pops up to Johnny Depp and goes, "This watch."
I kept it in his ass.
Kept it in his ass. This head, he wore this head. It's like-
I mean, it's amazing. I love it in most things
man.
he's in, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's dawning on me 20 years later that he's never really been anything else.
yeah.
Yep.
It's iconic. It's iconic, though. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
he's a national treasure. It's just like, yeah, I like him in anything. It's like Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson has never really done anything that wasn't Samuel L. Jackson. But
Come on,
somehow
Mace Windu is a totally unique.
Yeah.
Purple bladed lightsabers are a thing because
It's of him.
Sam
I-
Jackson said, "Fuck it, I want a purple blade," and George Lucas
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, fine,
Yeah.
whatever."
Like Sam, we only have the green, the blue, and the red. But well, whatever, we'll see what they think.
Motherfucker, I want purple.
He's
Do you
He
understand?
gave him an ultimatum. He goes,
Yeah.
"Purple lightsaber blade, or I say motherfucker in this movie." And he's like, "Motherfucker." Like, okay, purple lightsaber blade. He's like, fine, okay, we
All
can
right,
do purple. We can do purple. It's fine.
This is an old
Can
joke.
I still say motherfuckers?
I think my character would say motherfucker when he got his hand cut off. If we're being real, I think Mace Windu would have said that. But when after the Rise of Skywalker came out, and there was that meme where it shows Rey reaching out to all the other Jedi, asking them to like give her like wisdom and strength. It goes down the list of every Jedi that's ever been in a Star Wars movie, and that they all have some like tidbit of information on how to beat Palpatine. Like, oh, believe in yourself, like all this stuff. And Mace Windu's at the bottom, and he goes, "Kill that motherfucker!" It's so good. It's so good. That motherfucker. Like that should have been in the movie. I swear. Oh God.
It would have been way better.
Dude, I hated the Rise of Skywalker. But if Mace Windu popped up and said, "Kill that motherfucker," it would have been the best Star Wars movie.
Hands
I
down.
know.
Hands down.
Easily above Ewoks if it did that. As it is, it's below Ewoks.
Yes. But all right. We'll move on to the next topic here. Unless anybody has any of the other movies they want to talk about.
Next.
Okay. Next up, we're going to do memorable injuries or surgeries. So this topic spawned because after our last episode, Dan stayed on and talked to me for like 20 minutes. And we were just talking, we got on the subject of our vasectomies. And it was so funny. We were laughing. And a guy on our hockey team, Ryan Carr, I hope he doesn't care that we talk about this.
God.
Yeah, the best thing to do is use his full name.
I know.
Okay, so you have to start off. Hold on. Start off with this. So, vasectomy, they inject both sides. They cut the vas deferens. They inject both sides. Then they cut open one side and they pull it out and they snip, solder.
Yes.
And then they go to the other side, they pull it out, snip, solder, and you're done. This guy.
Wait, Dan, Dave, is that what they did for you? I know you got your vasectomy before any of us. So
I'm more like I'm more just like it must have like been imprinted on your brain. Although mine, you've heard like my vasectomy was a total trip because the doctor was late for the surgery because he was out catching a Snorlax on Pokemon Go before he had to do anything.
Shitting me. Ridiculous.
That was a big fucking deal right there.
Yeah, I'm sitting there in the stirrups. I got like iodine on my balls, and I'm like,
Christ.
where is this guy? And like 10 minutes later, like after the nurse is basically just, I'm cold, and so they're shriveled now, and I'm like, well, this is gonna be harder on him. And the nurse, so he comes in 10 minutes later. They got a heating blanket on my lap. Like that's like, yeah, that's whatever. Okay, but anyways, he comes in and he's like, sorry, there was a rare Snorlax in the parking lot. I'm like, you didn't just say that shit. Like this isn't happening. That's
incredible. Dave, you got yours done at the place that was like right down the street from your old house, right?
Yeah, it's right by the Nashville YMCA. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
where Dan and I both went there too.
Oh, there we go.
We got two. We got 4 for 2 deal.
Nice. Hey, they do a good job. I have no other kids. I mean, I can't complain about that.
Yeah.
I did make them pay me with like their best story. Wrap it up.
No, I'm saying, but they gave 2 cuts, 1 on each side, right?
Yes, they got you on both sides.
I don't remember. Like I was not in my right mind because of the whole Snorlax incident. So as they're suturing me up and like cleaning me up and all this shit, I look at the nurse and I'm like, okay, you guys owe me, like, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened here? And she's like, I don't know if I can tell you what the funniest thing, but have you ever heard of a button penis? And I'm like, a button penis? What the hell is that? She's like, well, we get these, we do all these surgeries in here, and we get these guys in here that, like, they're just huge, right? Like, they're just really big guys. And so every now and then we have to get, like, a couple nurses, and we have to push down on the stomach to make the penis pop up like a button.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. That is horrific. Oh my God.
Oh man, that's incredible.
So there you go.
So I said this to Dan off camera last time, but I think it's such a weird thing to set up there anyways for the vasectomy. Because literally, like, obviously your like legs are out, your balls are out, and then they just kind of fold your dick like under a blanket. And the whole time I was thinking, like, this is not a secure thing. Like, what if he starts cutting and my dick flops over? Like, I can't have him cut my dick off.
How big was the scalpel he was using? Because for me, it was like this big.
He was using a machete on Duffy.
Exactly.
Like, these balls are massive.
You got some big balls. I gotta get in there with.
See how big it was. I obviously was. I wasn't looking down. I wasn't looking down while he was cutting. Were you looking down? Because my eyes were on the fucking ceiling.
All I picture is Duffy in stirrups and Danny Trejo just walking right into the surgery.
Machete.
No balls for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, they got me on both sides, and I'm sure if you went to the same place we did, they definitely did it for you too. They get you on both sides. They pull out the fucking tubes. They cut them. They fucking solder. They solder them together or whatever.
You can smell it.
saying solder.
Whatever.
I said solder. It's cauterized. Sorry.
Cauterized.
It's the same thing. Let's be real.
Soldering iron, and they just like
It was Christopher Walken.
A little bit of metal in there.
Oh, soldering iron.
Christopher Walken comes in for the soldering.
Well, you know what's at the end of that road, right? The high school. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, did they do that on purpose? Like,
to make you think, like, I should get a vasectomy because I don't want any of those kids.
Exactly.
But so our friend from hockey, Ryan, Dan, tell the story because you know the story, and I don't.
You're gonna use that guy's name again?
Yeah. I've been trying to change names to protect the innocent. So he had his before me and Duffy had ours, and it was a big story in the locker room, and he's showing us all his nuts, and he shows the incision. And I'm like, oh, do you have one on the other side? And he's like, no, he did it both through one incision. And
what?
I was like mind blown because I'm like, what did he like going with like a fucking hook or something and like
pull the fucking thing out?
Pull it out because I can only imagine it's so long. I feel like it doesn't just keep going. It's like, oh my god, I just kept pulling this rope. And it just kept going. No, I'm like, how fucking long is this thing? And he's able to reach in and pull it out and do the snip, and then what? He just kind of tucks it back in. You're like, this is cool. This is fine. Yeah.
What if you have?
I can't imagine shit's not mixed up now.
I'm sure they have the capability of keeping these things straight. But like, imagine pulling that cord from the other side of your nutsack over, snipping it, and then it shoots back in because it's the other side.
Now, all I can picture is he pulls it right, and he pulls the ball into the other side of the sack. So now you have two on one side.
Jesus.
Are they split? Is there a barrier that's keeping you from having both balls in one sack?
That sounds like science. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I will tell you this, and John, do you remember? It was right when I came back to our group, and we were in the warehouse, and I was like, my fucking balls are killing me. I thought I got like a testicle. I thought I had a testicle twist. Like
yes, yes.
It was wicked painful. I could not figure out what it was. I went to like a couple different like quick checkups at the doctor, and they're like, "There's nothing there." I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. All I know is I had that for a long time, and then I got my vasectomy, and it went away. And I was like, "Whatever you did, you fixed it." So,
I had that fear too one time at like 2 a.m. It was awful. Like I woke up in the middle, like I was in Tingsboro with like massive ball pain, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I like look up, and it's like testicular torsion, and it's like side effects. death or you'll lose everything. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to the ER.
Yes.
I would go for the ER for anything.
I was literally like doing everything in my head. I'm like, all right, I gotta spin my testicle, but I don't know that I'm spinning it the right way. And like, I was like, just like kind of like pulling on it to straighten it out. And I was like, this fucking kills whatever.
Well,
it is.
yeah, I think that we actually talked about this. I was like, it might be a twisted testicle. I mean, you might have to actually rotate it yourself, or you have to go see a professional about it.
So
you know?
I'm fucking fondling
Now,
my
by
nuts.
professional, do you mean a doctor or a lady of the night?
Yeah. Excuse me. I'm here to see that.
I feel like that lady of the night might have seen more balls than that doctor.
Yeah.
But
Should do a better job of untwisting.
ultimately, like it was. So the guy gives me my injection on the right side, right? My pain was always on the left side. So I get my injection on the right side when he's starting my vasectomy, and then I was like, oh, so fucking painful. And then he goes over to the left side, and I didn't feel the injection, and I was like, I'm gonna let you know. I'm like, I didn't feel the needle go in like I did the first time. I'm like, is it possible that the first injection has spread enough Novocaine or whatever to the left side that I don't feel it? He goes, no. And I was like, I think you need to inject me again. That's what I told him. And he did it. He injected me twice. I didn't feel the second one either. And I'm like, all right, well, it's got to be numb now. You got me with 2 fucking injections. And then after he sewed me up, I was like, I told him, like, I've had a wicked painful left testicle for like 6 months. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm like, is it possible? Because I thought I got it at hockey. I thought I had like a cup shot or something, and like my cup just dug into one testicle. And I'm like, is it possible that I've lost all feeling in my left testicle? And he goes, I mean, it could be.
It's entirely possible.
I'm like, could you see it when you were doing it? Did it look right? He goes, I really didn't look. I was just looking at the tubes, is what he told me.
He was like, I didn't look at all. I was just Steven
I was trying to catch a Snorlax.
Exactly. Go ask Dr. Snorlax for a second opinion.
That's great.
Oh man. Vasectomy talk. This is great. John, if you've never got one, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'm listening to this story, and I'm like, I'm the only person out of all 3 of you that doesn't have this.
Here we go.
So,
well, it's better than kids. I mean,
I've got 2. I'm not planning on any more.
Our coworker Chris. Sorry, babe, I gotta go weld my balls real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll get there too someday, Chris.
One day.
Away. But, all right. So I think that's enough testicle talk. Any other, John? Why don't you hit us with a good injury you've had since?
Oh, dude, there's just so many. You're
the only loser who still has working balls.
I'll go with the most recent one. I'll work my way back. How's that?
Sure.
Right. I arm wrestled a 17-year-old Greek Adonis at a Christmas party back in December. And I'm pretty sure that I fucked up my shoulder by tearing my rotator cuff because it's been fucked ever since.
What did I tell you about that, John? I said, this is why you shouldn't fight with children.
The year prior to that, I blew my knee apart on Killington Mountain while doing a Spartan race and finished the goddamn race. I still haven't got my knee fixed. I don't know what's wrong with it still. Yeah, I mean, I've had my head cracked open in cinder block walls. It's split open like wide. I've got a scar down my entire back for the most part. That from a baseboard heater from jumping and hitting it on it and falling off the bed. I've had a yard sale where I cracked my ribs, went unconscious, fucked up my shoulder again. Right, like the list goes on and on. But I think the most memorable one I had is I had to pull out my own big toenail at one point.
Like all the way off.
All the way off. It was so fucked up.
Oh, jeez.
It's so painful.
You know how you were sweating eating that sandwich today?
Yes.
That's what made me fucking sweat. I was sweating so hard doing that.
It's like Lamaze class. So I went to the sandwich. I don't want to distract from John's amazing toenail story, but have you guys ever eaten at Flip the Bird?
No.
Flip the Bird. It's a chicken sandwich shop, and 2 weeks before Christmas or a week before Christmas, we went there, and I got, which is like a Nashville spicy chicken sandwich. It was delicious, but they have one more higher called the Angry Bird. So today we went back, and I was like, you know what? Everybody got the Angry Bird, and instant. It was not so hot that I couldn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the whole sandwich. It was very tasty, but instantly pouring sweat. Like,
Were your nipples burning, Kevin?
I don't know about my nipples, but I had to take my hat off because it was pooling with water. So.
He had to drink another cup of water because he was sweating so hard.
Now,
It was ridiculous.
Has it left yet? That's the next question.
No.
So
Is the chicken sandwich still with you?
I can still feel its like chemical trail through my esophagus as it's like burning a hole down through it, but it's I have not had a painful shit yet. So.
It's gonna burn a hole right through you.
Just start singing Johnny Cash now, man, because that Ring of Fire's coming for you.
I was just thinking about the entire car ride, what we were talking about with Chris and Jack just then.
Oh, the bloody assholes from. It just happens. You just hit a certain age, and suddenly I shit blood.
I have to stay away from food like that now because of the Ring of Fire. At some point, like it just happened where it's like, here we go, and so like I'm convinced that when Johnny Cash wrote that song purely for that reason. So.
He's having a really painful shit.
Yeah, exactly. It makes way more sense than anything else. See? Yeah.
Yeah. The worst part about the Ring of Fire, though, is not even just like the painful shit, and it is the kiss of Poseidon that hits you in the ass after, and you're like, ah.
Well, that's why I highly recommend everybody here and everybody that ever watches this, you get a bidet toilet seat, and when you have that burning shit from something you probably shouldn't have eaten,
you put the jets on high.
Some cold water and so soothing.
But
I don't like. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't like. No, it's fine. It's fine because the sting from the water is just it's
better in comparison.
It's compared to whatever hot stuff you ate, and I highly recommend it. So it's so refreshing, and you feel so clean afterward as well.
I used a bidet toilet once. We stayed at the Adventure Suites in North Conway, and they had a bidet toilet. I didn't like the way it felt on my asshole. I don't know.
You get used to it. You get used to it, but it's.
I don't like anything that starts with that.
I don't want to poop I don't like pooping anywhere else. I miss when I go places. I miss my toilet.
So, did you install the bidet yourself, or did you have someone do it?
So it's just a thing that connects under the toilet seat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a T pipe that goes to the water line from your toilet, and it just pulls right from that.
But
so it's easy to put in. It's like $90 to get, or
you're not afraid you're gonna shit all over the fucking tube?
It's not in the way.
No, it folds back, and then the little thing drops down, and it sprays up at an angle like that towards your beehole.
See,
and if you get the fancier ones, they do other ones that spray at the V-hole.
But where does the water, the splash go? Does it go like everywhere, like all over your pants?
No. It's aimed at such an angle that it goes in and hits the beehole, right, and then it goes back down into the actual,
and then comes right back down into the.
This is a podcast. You guys can say asshole. You don't have to.
I know.
But what if you're sitting too far back? Like, how does it know?
I mean, you have to kind of readjust, and you got to spread it a little bit so you really clean everything out.
All right, you know what, Dan?
I think you have like those stickers.
Everybody stop. I think, Dan, I think you need to take your phone upstairs and show us a tutorial right now for the podcast.
I'm just picturing like those foot placement stickers. There's like these foot placement stickers. Place feet here before bideting.
It's pretty accurate. I mean, you got to configure your ride.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
Although I will say, don't test it if you're not sitting on it. because
water will shoot everywhere.
Oh my god, with so much force, and it'll just go clean across the room, and hit the wall, hit the mirror, whatever's fucking there. I mean, like, I can do it because my toilet is across from the shower, so I just open the shower door and I can turn it on. I can be blasting it right into the shower.
It's a nice little water feature in our bathroom.
Yeah. But I mean,
it's shitty toilet water sailing across the fucking room.
I know. I see dirty water playing in my head as I'm thinking about this.
The water coming out is clean. You're making the pee hole.
It's not poop water. Not until it goes back into the toilet.
And if you're just using toilet paper, you're walking around with shit in your bum all day, every day.
Yep.
How often do you gotta clean it? Like clean the actual hose and all that stuff? Because that
You don't
seems
have
like
to clean
that'd
the
be.
hose, but there's a little hang down. So I mean, you
So
turn
you gotta do
one
like
way.
one of these every now and then.
Well, you turn one way and it shoots the water up your butt.
Yeah.
If you turn the other way, it actually does like a cleaning chute down the little spigot thing and kind of cleans it off that way. But like as often as you clean your toilet, you scrub, and then you get that guy. You just scrub it.
See, I'm picturing it as like an arm that you just kind of put in the toilet when you want to use it. Is that not the case? It's just always in there?
It's always there.
It's always there.
But it also has a little adjustment angle, so like you can, when it's not in use, you can adjust it so it's all the way back and it's just out of the way. Unless you're one of those people that like when they sit on the toilet, they're like and then they just start blasting shit against the wall.
I love that you're spinning right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the more ergonomic way to take a Duke. Everyone knows it.
It is.
I mean, I know that I said this at work with the guys today. I said, I have a poop stoop. I bought it for my kids, but I use it more often than them.
You got to get the knees up.
Yeah. Like it's the way it's supposed to be.
And with the bidet toilet seats, if you have a stubborn Duke, it helps lubricate it as well to kind of get that out. We're getting older, guys. We're getting older, and those stubborn Dukes pop up every once in a while.
Gotta eat more fiber, guys.
You just kind of you just get a little water on there, and then it's like, dude, that's all I needed.
You just needed to relax the asshole a bit, and then everything comes out okay.
Just falls right out.
Jesus Christ.
My brother could have been a millionaire from that poop stoop thing, man. He was doing that back like 20-something years ago. He had a table, like this little coffee table that he'd use and bring into the toilet. It was in our bathroom for college. And he called it his poo table, and he just put his knees up because he was having stubborn poops, and that's how you got rid of them.
Yeah. You really should have patented it.
Yeah.
It's
the
called
squatty
the
potty.
It's called the Hampton.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Any other injuries that people have? We've talked about some surgeries, and John's obviously got his
I've got
disgusting toe injury.
I've got so many.
I mean, I almost cut my finger off too. I mean, that's the list goes on and on. I'm a bad person when it comes down to it.
My injuries are pretty tame. Like I've never broken a bone. I separated my shoulder from my collarbone once. That healed in like 2 months though, so it was like nothing. And a couple sprained ankles, but that's really it as far as my injuries go. But yeah, the vasectomy is probably the worst thing that ever happened to me. So
I got nothing funny.
I'll let Dave go first.
I got nothing funnier than the vasectomy story because the only thing I can think of, like with you, when I've been around where you got into this, you freaking went face first into that snow gun. I thought you were dead. I literally was like, "Oh shit, that guy is dead." I'm gonna have to tell Sarah like what just happened because we were snowboarding in November. Oh god,
I got so I did get so hurt that was a bad. But again, like a walk away injury, right? Like nothing major. But it was Loon Mountain was open for like an early November day, and I was just going down, and I was at the edge of the trail, and
I mean,
the fucking snow, the snowmaker has a metal fucking lip on the bottom of it that would normally be under like 5 feet of snow, and I fucking caught it. I caught it, and my fucking entire body just went like so quick.
You did a whip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So quick.
Oh,
and
god.
I was wearing goggles. I didn't wear a helmet. But
no helmet. You were laughing at me for wearing a helmet this day. I remember that. Yeah.
I was wearing my brand new goggles, fucking like Oakley's or something.
Yeah.
They fucking shattered down the middle, like.
Yep.
And I a little cut on my nose from the pinching of the goggles. No real injury. I was a little fucked up from the fall. But I had my wallet in my front left pocket, like right here, and that hit the pipe and drove into my fucking hip, and I was like, ah! And I went home. And Sarah was so fucking mad at me for going to that trip. She was because I promised that I was gonna clean all the leaves up in my yard that weekend. And I was like, no, I'm going snowboarding with the boys. Fuck that. And I got home and I'm limping in late at night. And she's like, oh, don't give me any shit. You better do those fucking leaves tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I'll do them. And so I woke up the next morning. I got dressed. I went out and started hobbling around the yard, scooping up leaves. And she's watching me outside like, you're so full of shit. Blah, blah. I come inside and I take my clothes off to get changed. She sees this fucking bruise up my leg that goes from my knee all the way to my fucking dick. Like, it's like huge. And she's like, oh my God. She goes, what happened? And I'm like, I got hurt. I told you I got hurt. You still made me go outside and do this shit. You think I'm fucking lying? And I'm like, and she's like, do you need to go to the doctors? I'm like, no, it's just a really bad bruise.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding internally.
I had reverse vitiligo. My fucking whole leg was turning black.
I mean, you're being generous. That wasn't even snow. Like, I remember going down that hill and it looked like a luge run from the Olympics. It was just shiny as shit. I'm like, oh God.
Where the snow was, because sometimes when you're going down, it's like, that's grass.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I know that when I had my yard sale, I was at Crotchet Mountain, and I don't know how to snowboard, but I bought my own board and everything else. And I was just teaching myself because that's fucking smart.
Yeah.
And the front of the board ended up catching like this and shot me like a fucking rocket like that. And I was like, I do jujitsu. I know how to take a fall and I know how to roll. So I tucked in, and when I landed all on my shoulder and my arm and everything here. And I just went bang and went limp and just slid like 30, 40 feet down the mountain while my wife collected all my shit. And then she allowed me, I've got like so little recollection of that entire day, right?
Concussion.
I pretty much lost the entire thing.
Concussion protocol.
Yeah.
She made me snowboard down the rest of the mountain.
Yeah. How else are you going to get down, John? You had to keep going.
Well,
that's exactly what she said.
Not a very big mountain.
Yeah.
So they did funny enough, Dave, that was the last time I snowboarded, was that trip. I haven't been since. That
was the one we made you a DD because Fred had an interesting day too that day, and then we ended up challenging. We ended up challenging the whole bar to a chugging contest where apparently that was a really interesting day. Dave,
I've never seen somebody chug beers the way you were chugging beers. Everybody in the bar was coming up and challenging Dave, and he was like Thor. It was like gone.
Nice.
It was
talking about.
Yeah. It was just gone. I was like, how are you doing that? Like, I don't even know. Like, you gotta relax the throat. I could never. I could practice for 10 years and never be able to chug a beer the way you
I remember that day. I'm like, Fred, I might lose. I haven't done this in years, but hey, I'm pretty sure I can beat anyone in this bar to a chugging contest. Beer's on us.
At least 5 people challenged you. 5.
Five.
And you were just like, sit down.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. I mean, they were still like halfway in. No, nobody was even halfway done by the time I was done with my beer. We got a lot of free beer that day. It worked out.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, man. All right, Dan, how about you? I know you've had some injuries. I've seen a few happen live.
You've seen a few? Just one, I think.
The one. It was bad, though.
Yeah. Last February, I snapped my fibula on ice while playing hockey. I went feet first into the boards, and in the skate went into the boards and bent like that, and the top of the skate boot pushed into my fibula and snapped it.
Oh,
it was awful.
Yeah,
Jesus.
But we do have video evidence of that through Live Barn. Yeah, so that was good. I was in a hard cast for 5 weeks, a walking boot with 0 weight, still on crutches for 2 weeks. Then 2 weeks after that, walking boot with crutches doing 50% weight, and then still in the walking boot for 2 weeks with 100% weight. So I was down and out for quite some time. That was the most recent one. I also broke 4 bones in one whack when I was in 6th grade. I did a flip on a trampoline and fractured 4 metatarsals in my foot.
Oh,
Oh.
And
Jesus
shockingly
Christ.
enough, the exact same side. My left foot and my left ankle.
I was waiting for like a story like from Out Cold where like I snowboarded off a fire truck into the fire.
No, it was not fun. But then like 3 weeks later, we went to Disney World, a whole family trip, and I was put in a wheelchair, and people just kept leaving me places. So like you'd be in Disney World, and there I was, 6th grader with my foot in a cast, and I'm just like, where's my family? Oh, where is everybody?
They just left you in stroller parking. They're like, here you go.
They pushed me into stroller parking, and there I was.
That's nuts.
That's awful.
Dude,
Yeah.
especially that your family did you a disservice because I would have been like, oh, we're getting to the front of these fucking lines
Oh,
real quick.
we did all of that, but when they were doing other shit, they were just leaving me in the middle of nowhere.
Who wants to get sword out of stone? Fuck you, Dan.
We're going to meet Pocahontas. Leave Dan over there. He can't. There's steps. There's steps.
I've had my tonsils and adenoids removed, went under for that. I've had my appendix removed, went under for that. I've had gastric bypass surgery, went under for that. I've been under several times. I know what happens. They give you that propofol first. That kind of relaxes you. And there's something that I've learned is that when they hit me with that propofol, I sing. And I sing Christmas carols. One specific Christmas carol, and that is Silver Bells for some reason. And I remember when I was going in for my appendectomy, I was like, it hits me, and I'm like, oh, silver bells, silver bells. And this nurse comes over and she goes, it's Christmas time. And that was the last thing I remember.
Oh my goodness.
And then when I come out of it, I'm very angry. And I remember I think this was when I got my tonsil and adenoids removed. So I was 16-ish. And I'm in the bed and they tuck you fucking tight in that bed. And there's my charts at my feet. So I'm like trying to get my feet out. And then I end up getting my feet out and kicking my charts on the floor. And a nurse comes over and she like slaps the charts back on my feet and she's like, behave yourself. And I was like, jeez. And then I got yelled at in recovery after my gastric bypass surgery because I was waking up and I was just in the bed going, oh, oh. I don't know why. I had no idea where I was. And she's like, sir, you need to be quiet. There are other people that are waking up from anesthesia. And I just look at her and I go, oh! It sucks. I really fucking suck when I come out of this stuff.
I hate it, man. I hate it.
I've never had any emergency surgeries.
Even wisdom teeth, they put you like halfway under with that. And I don't know how they fucking moved me when I had my wisdom teeth out. But I was definitely in like the dentist chair. And then you wake up in a fucking different chair. And I'm like, how'd you get me here? But with that stuff, you have basically 3 reactions. You can be laughing, you can be crying, or you can be really pissed off. And I don't know why my parents sent my brother with me to be the person to drive me home.
So you got you to the really pissed off place.
But he's there. But I woke up really pissed off. And they hand me care instructions on a piece of paper. And I take it. And my brother's like, read that. And I was like, I crumpled it up. And I just chuck it down the hall. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I said, nothing. And the nurse is like, well, if you don't want to read those, they're in that plastic thing on the wall. And I was like, oh, this? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, ripped it off the wall and threw it down the hall. And my brother goes, all right, let's go. We're leaving. Come on. Pulls me up and he walks me out to the car because I was property damage. I had property damage at that point.
Yeah.
I hate being put under, man. When I did my wisdom teeth, it was all 4, and I was like, keep me awake. Just give me the locals, and like I hated that much. So I was awake through all 4 wisdom teeth, just listening to the bones grinding and all that.
Oh
fun
God,
stuff.
they knocked me out. They knocked me out
bottom
for mine,
yeah.
and I didn't.
I was awake for
it.
the bottom 2. They did the bottom 2 first. So it was actually tonsils and adenoids, and then later in that summer, wisdom teeth, all in the same summer. And I was awake for the bottom ones. And then I believe the year that I got my appendix out, earlier in that summer was when I had the top ones removed. So I like to couple my surgeries and stuff together, apparently.
Yeah.
There you go. It's really fun when you get that stubborn tooth that won't pop out, so they have to get the chisel out and actually hit a hammer into your
So,
mouth as you're
actually,
watching.
hold on. The cool thing about being awake for him. Hold on, I gotta go get something. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh,
I know when I had my wisdom teeth, one of my wisdom teeth out, this is the only one I've ever had out. All I did is Novocaine it, and like this, the only thing it felt like they were trying to push my teeth together. I didn't get anything else out of it. You know,
I was out.
So-
Cool. They knocked me out for mine. I woke up and I was not angry like Dan. I just woke up and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, what do you got
That
there?
was quick. All right, I just recently found these. Yeah, the cool thing about being awake when you have your wisdom teeth out is you can ask to take them. And I still, in fact,
Yep.
have my wisdom teeth in Spencer Gifts name badge for somebody that's obviously not me, because my name is not Luke.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
I told him just chuck that shit. I'm like, they're broken. You guys, like I said, mine were stubborn. They wouldn't come out. They had to get the chisels and all the stuff.
Yours are like solid, Dan. They're like
Yeah,
totally
I'm actually
intact.
surprised. I'm actually surprised that they're still nicely intact.
Yeah,
Dan, they are
well, it should
so
be.
they are so perfect. They look like fake teeth, like
Yeah.
like joke teeth that I would get at a fucking at Spencer
Yeah,
Gibbs.
these are my real teeth. You can still see the rotted root inside and everything. It
Gross.
dried out nicely. Hot dog, get big.
They did. I had my wisdom teeth out, and then I had an umbilical hernia that I had to go under for.
Oh yeah,
That was
that was
Like-
a good one.
it was just gross. Like my belly button, like it just had this bubble sticking out of it. Like, what the
Yep.
fuck is that? And like I could push it in, and as I was pushing it in, I could feel my insides move. I'm like, that's not good. Like, what is that? and then I went and got checked out, and the guy's like, "Oh, that's an umbilical hernia." I'm like, "Okay, so what am I pushing on?" He's like, "Your guts."
He said, "Don't do that. Don't do
And I'm
that
like,
anymore."
"Okay, well, what are you gonna do?" And he's like, "What we're gonna do is we're gonna make 3 incisions, tiny incisions." He's like, "We're gonna go on each side. We're gonna reach in with our tools, pull in a net." Like a camera, and we're gonna sew a mesh net to the inside of your belly. And he's like, it's gonna be like that wide, like it's like a square patch just on the other side of my belly button. And I don't notice it now at all, but when I first got it, I could feel all the corners of that thing, and I'm like, this is gonna be the rest of my life. I have a fucking I have a mini volleyball net just fucking tucked in my goddamn insides. And like, I'm like never gonna get used to this. I don't notice it at all anymore. It's totally gone. But the week after that I came out for my surgery, all this fucking horrible shit hit my news feed. It was like, if you had an umbilical hernia surgery, the mesh nets are causing cancer. Or like it wasn't cancer, but I was like,
they were getting dislodged and wrapping around your insides. And
that's what
shit.
it is. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I did just get one.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
die.
So now I'm nervous.
I was wicked, and it's been fine. I think I was on the upswing from let's fix that problem before
Yeah.
any more people sue us. So I think I got a different kind of net, but I don't
No,
know.
when I had my gastric bypass, I came back looking like I was in a fucking gunfight and survived. Because I mean,
Jesus.
I was just covered in staples,
Oh,
Ooh.
oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
and there were just holes all over me, and it was just all staples.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never had staples before, because I mean, I had another week when I was in 5th grade where I had 11 stitches in 1 week on 2 occurrences. I was on a scooter in my aunt's basement, and I went by an old recliner, and upholstery tack was sticking out and
Oh.
slicing up my side.
Ah!
There you go.
And that was 5 stitches, and that was on a Saturday. And then the following Thursday, I was at school, and I did like a little flip on the jungle gym, and I hit my head and cracked my skull open, and I got 6 stitches there. And the next day, on Friday, I went out to recess, and I was able to follow the blood trail of me from that incident going back in. So, I mean, I've had plenty of stitches, and I was like, I've never had stitches before, and they're like, well, here's 21 of them.
I know when I split my dome open, I was in Dr. Soul's school in Salem, New Hampshire, in the bathroom, and I got in a fight with somebody. And they stepped on my foot and pushed me backwards. My head went smack right in the corner. of the cinder block wall, and my
Cool.
head just popped like a grape, and blood was everywhere.
So much fucking blood comes out of
Oh
it.
yeah, my
Yeah.
shirt
So
was
much
my
blood.
shirt and everything else was covered in blood, right? But like, and you see this, like you see a trail of blood that literally was just right behind me to the nurse's office. It's awesome.
Ugh.
I just remember I hit my head. I was like, oh, that hurt. And I go like this. And then I pull my hand down. And from like here down to like the bottom of my hand is just covered in blood. So then, I mean, I'm in 5th grade. I start freaking the fuck out. And one of the lunch mothers is like, oh my God. She runs over and pulls me. And I'm like holding like this. And it's just pouring into my hands.
Incredible.
And I mean, I'm covered in blood.
Yep.
I mean, I get to the top of the stairs to go in, and my hand is just covered, and I go like that, and I just spray blood all up the fucking
God.
door.
You're the
And
man.
the worst part was they didn't even go outside with like a hose. They were just like, "Fuck
It's
it,
fine.
fuck it, whatever." It's
Blood,
blood.
blood
It's
pathogens?
gonna-
What the fuck are those?
It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain later.
Yeah, it was 1998. They didn't give a shit.
That's crazy.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Good
I
times.
think I covered most of them.
The worst bloody story I've ever seen, and it wasn't me. It was Chris Diggle in North Reading, and he was trying to cut open a bucket, but he was using a box cutter, and he was cutting towards his hand, and he cut the big fat part of his thumb right here, deep. And I was right next to him, and he goes, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit," like that. And I was like, I looked up at him, and there's fucking blood just like. I was like, and I grabbed like the chem wipes. And I was like, cover it, and he covers it, and he runs up front, and then there's just a trail of blood through the fucking warehouse to the front where he was washing his hand. So I go up to the sink. I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's washing his hand, and like he is spreading it open himself, like, and it was like this fucking deep V, and I was like.
And at that point, the spaceship from Rebel Moon came out.
Seriously, that's what it looked like. It was that big of a gap, and
Yeah.
it was so fucking gross. And then we're driving. I drove him to the emergency room up the road. They covered his hand, and he's in the car next to me like this. And I'm driving him, so it's his left hand, and it's sitting here, just like next to my head. And I was just like this driving, and I was like, "Dude, you got to move your hand." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because I think I can smell it."
Oh, jeez.
And he fucking goes like this and moves it over here. And I felt bad, but I really did. I couldn't have that fucking bloody hand in my head. I couldn't have it in my head.
I was telling Chris Miller about this today, but I sliced my hand open the same way that Diggle did at a previous job, and the first thing you sit there and say is, "Oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit," right? Like it's like an instant. And I had pressure on it immediately. Like I took off my shirt and everything else and wrapped it around my fucking hand. And I sat for 3 hours at a minute clinic while they waited to go and sew me up. I sat there. I was like, they're like, "Well, you're not going to lose your finger, so it's not an issue." I go,
I'm
fuck
losing
are
a
you
lot
talking
of
about?
blood. I'm losing a lot of blood.
Well, that's when
I had a
that's when
buddy
you
do
just
this-
take the bandage off and you just sit there leaking blood on the floor.
That's right,
You
John.
have
Yeah.
to you have
You
to
should have
think like a
thrown
homeless
blood
person
like Dan did.
and just be there and just be like, and
I-
then
it's-
accidentally sneeze and just be throwing blood places. And they're like, at least you'll get your own room. They're like, "Oh, we just need to get this fucking guy out of the waiting room."
You
Right.
just gotta learn. You just gotta learn the words that the damn drug addicts use whenever they jump in front of you. Because these guys come in seeking for medicine. You just go, "Oh, I feel really lightheaded. I don't know if I'll be able to sit up straight." That's all you gotta say. Because I remember my buddy did the exact same thing. I'm like, just say you're lightheaded. Say you feel faint, and then boom, we were right in. He had stitches within 20 minutes. And it's a shame you got to work the system that way, but you do. Because if you're like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'll wait my turn," yeah, I'll leave you there for 4 hours.
yeah, you know what? I appreciate the information. I will use that going forward.
Next time,
Yeah.
honestly, John, forget all that. What you need to say is you walk in with a big open bloody wound and you say, "I have AIDS! I have AIDS!"
And COVID.
Thank you. Real quick.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I have AIDS, and it's not stumbling towards the
Yeah.
other sick people.
Yeah.
Oh no, get him in.
Yeah. Cover
All
it with
right.
face
Oh,
masks.
shit.
That's
Oh,
a great AIDS. That's a great place to end this podcast.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on this episode. Dave, thank you so much for calling in all the way from Florida, man. It was a probably the funniest episode I think we've done so far. I've never,
Yeah.
I don't think we've laughed this much the whole episode. So that was really fucking good. To anybody who watches this video on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe to our channel. If you're following us on Spotify, download it, and the other stuff you do with podcasts on Spotify. I don't know what you do with them.
Tell your friends.
Shouldn't you?
Tell your friends about it, dude. I don't even know how to get us started on this podcast. So just do stuff with our stuff.
Just end it.
Right. All right, guys. This is the Random
All right.
Things episode 8. See you next week. Bye bye.
Happy New Year.